So let me get right to it. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Unscripted 101 podcast, U1, presented by Beat Fact Music. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, whatever your time zone is, whatever you're doing. Hope you get a chance to listen to this podcast, U1, on Spotify, for podcasters, and of course, Apple Podcasts. All right, folks, let me get down to this. So there was a report that the NBA competition committee wants to review the structure of the game, the rules, and whatever else that they're trying to do. Now, I've had conversations with various people about the NBA product today, especially the on-court performances. And I've had mixed reviews. Some agree, some completely disagree. Some feel like I'm in the old school mindset because I grew up in an era where basketball, especially playoff time, was so competitive, so gritty, so grindy, so intense, so passionate. But now it's kind of just like blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not about it. I just state facts. And the fact that this report about the NBA competition committee allegedly saying that there's too much gifted to the offense and we're punishing the defense too much is a sign that the NBA knows that something is wrong with their product. It's a sign that, as I said before, that the NBA structure is a problem. And I stick by what I say, not only on this podcast, but to everybody I've spoke to on this issue. I've always said that the talent level is at an all-time high, but the structure of the game is at an all-time low. And this is another example of what I've been saying. When this report comes out from multiple media outlets, it tells you everything you need to know. The game has a problem. We talked about the load management. Some people complain saying that there's too many games. But even as I said to many people and several people, that even if you cut the games to 65 or 60, you're going to get the same behavior. Doesn't matter what country you put a human being. If they're behaving a certain way, they're going to behave a certain way, no matter what. So if you have a type of clientele that you have in a certain outlet acting a certain way, it doesn't matter where you put them, they're going to behave a certain way. And players, no matter what team they play for, are going to act a certain way. Now you got players coming out and saying, oh, it's boring where I play. Who cares? You choose to either go there as a free agent, you either get traded because you didn't want to be there, or you have to play there because it's your only opportunity to play NBA basketball and you don't know if you're going to be in the league tomorrow. But back to what I'm saying, it's unequivocally facts that the structure of the game has a problem. And I've been saying this even before this report came out. And now the report is out. It's like, oh, wow. I guess Briscoe was right. Maybe he has some points. I don't care who the person is. If the person states facts, facts usually are truth, and truth are facts. The game has a problem structurally. And I'm not going to old school and saying, oh yeah, old school is better with the rules. Old school is old school, and old school time was more of a different style, a different lifestyle, a different world, a different everything. Was it exciting to me? Yes. Do I think it's better than this era? Yes, but that's just my opinion. But the structure of the game back then, is it way better than now? Of course it is, in my opinion. But the players now, are they more athletic than ever and more refined than the players? But absolutely. I would never put rule sets and try to compare these errors and put guys against guys. Have you ever watched Anthony Edwards? That guy could jump off skyscrapers. Have you watched Wemby? Have you watched Kevin Durant? Have you watched Devin Booker? I mean, it's ridiculous. Or even Trae Young, you know? Steph Curry, Klay Thompson when he was healthy, Scotty Barnes, Damian Lillard, Giannis, Jokic, that guy. Think about it. Jokic is slow, but his basketball IQ is at an all-time high. One of the best basketball IQs in the history of the game. Joel Embiid, when he could stay healthy. Like I say, he's always top 5 when he's healthy. And the list goes on and on and on. So when it comes to the players, the NBA has the players, but they don't have the build to keep the game attractive enough for people to watch. So I'm not comparing eras. We know the 70s and 80s was a different era. The players in the NBA were flying commercial. There was drugs, there was drinking, there was all kinds of stuff going on. It happens in every era. There's always something. This era, it's social media and Instagram women. Right? So, whatever. Listen, we're not going to get into all that nonsense and try to do all that talking. I don't have time to reply to all that. But what I will say is I'm going to stick to the topic of this podcast, and it's the structure of the NBA game. It needs to change. It needs to change to give the game some life. They need to filter out the nonsense and bring in something that could give the game a little more life. And that doesn't mean change the rules to the point where it's ridiculous. It doesn't mean telling NBA officials to continue to make ridiculous, egregious calls. It just means make the game so that the players on both ends of the floor could be happy. You don't need to satisfy them, but they're happy enough to say, hey, you know what? At least the game is allowing each side of the ball to do something. The defense and the offense. You know, like I remember when they implemented the 3 seconds defensive. That was dumb. What, because Mutombo stands there and blocks? So what? That means it's always going to be 4-on-5 going down the court. You can't stop 4-on-5? Then that's on you. Why should you blame a guy who just stands in the key? He's not ball hogging. He's just trying to defend the net. NBA saw that and said, oh, man, we got to do something about it. Whoever bitched and complained about that, oh, boy, did that backfire. Now you got 7-footers running down the floor, dribbling, crossovering, passing the ball like magic, shooting the ball like Reggie Miller and Steph, dunking like crazy, spreading the floor like a true leader. Come on, man. The Mutombo rule was one of the worst rules they ever implemented. So, but if they can put some rules in, don't bring back hand checking. We need to calm down with the hand checking stuff, folks. It's a different era. But they need to implement rules that could structurally put the game back in the position to be watchable. Watchable. That's all I'm saying. So hopefully Adam Silver and his constituents get it right. Because right now, what's going to happen in the next couple weeks is everybody's going to be watching one thing. The women's NCAA tournament. Yes, I said it. The women's NCAA tournament. Because that's where the basketball is at right now. The women right now are absolutely phenomenal. The games are phenomenal. And it's better than even the WNBA. I think women's college basketball right now, the last 3 years, has been the best set of basketball to watch on TV. Period. Anybody that wants to challenge that, please, I welcome your challenge. And you look at the stars right now in women's college basketball, it's crazy because we know we're going to see most of them next year because most of them are going to be there until their senior year. Maybe a fifth year because of the NIA deal situation and the fact that the WNBA don't pay enough, but that's a whole different podcast for a different day. So, the NBA structure is not good. It's not up to par. The talent level is beyond up to par. The refereeing, the officiating, no further comment on that. That's another podcast for another day. So good luck to Adam Silver and his constituents. Hopefully they get this right and finally prove me wrong when I say that the structure of the game is horrible right now. Not horrible. I'm exaggerating. It's not right. It's reaching mediocrity levels. That's all I'm going to say. That's just my opinion. But I want to see the league continue to grow with talent because the talent is great. It's great. You got to really look at it. The young talent, even the guys that you don't see play. There's a lot of guys that sit on NBA benches that could ball. You know, especially with the expansion of basketball across the globe, all the talent I see here, right here in Ontario. So it's a great game. Basketball is a great game. The NBA could be a great game, but the competition committee needs to get it right. And what I got to get right is this right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another edition of the Unscripted 101 podcast. You won. I'm signing off. Good night.